Thank you very much. I hope you could listen to me. So thank you for inviting me at this session, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you virtually and to share with you my thoughts about this domain and what I think. First of all, I would like to be with you in your trouble in politics and financial situation. I hope it will be solved very soon, and then you could be in a country where it is more quiet and easy to work in for the future and the future of nursing as well. So the the idea of the presentation today is to make an overview about how we could collaborate internationally in the nursing and nursing informatics. First of all, I need to declare that I am a member of the board of the European Federation for Medical Informatics, the International Medical Informatics Association. I'm co-editor of books that will be presented here, and I'm collaborating with LEP. So the LEP is a Swiss company. This means that I'm not neutral, but I try to be objective. Then what is important, and I would like to show this map about the situation in the number of nurses per country across the world, and there is big differences, and it is always difficult to say how we could collaborate if we have such big differences between the number of nurses per 1,000 population. For example, Switzerland is on right, the left corner on the top with 18 nurses per 1,000 population, followed by Norway. So we will hear what Anne-Christine will say later. But if I look, I search for Sri Lanka in 2019, you have 2.3 nurses per 1,000 population, if this is correct. So how could a Swiss guy could give help to the nurses in Sri Lanka, where you have much more to do than we have in Switzerland? But anyway, what is important is that we need to collaborate and we need to have a good network. Showing this, it's also interesting to see how much we should hire foreign people to help in the nursing field. Here you have a map about the number in this line, the number of non-Swiss nurses to be hired at Swiss hospitals. So we need to have a lot of nurses in the ward and in the other hospital, but we also need to hire a lot of foreign nurses to help us because we have a drainage about the number of nurses in our country, and this is a situation where we need to work and we need to have more nurses or students attracted to the nursing situation, to the nursing group, and going on. So, and there is other country like, for example, you have New Zealand who needs many foreign people. But in Italy, for example, the line here under, they are not using a lot of foreign people. So I don't know how is the situation in Sri Lanka, but this is quite interesting to see. So what we did, and we just published a third edition about the nursing informatics for the 21st century book. We collaborate with Connie Delaney, Charlotte Weaver, Joyce Sensmeyer, Lisiane Pruinelli, and myself to have the much up to date version about how the nursing informatics will help in now and in the future. The first version of this series were published in 2006, the second version in 2010, and then the editor said no more again because it's a hard job to get all the article. And then the publisher come back and says it's the time to publish a third version and to give an overview about what is the actual situation and how will be the future. So that's why we we accepted it. And instead of having one big book of more than 1,000 pages, you have four books with 250 pages. So the different books are grouped into the important chapter. The book one is the digital health and the challenge and opportunity for nurses. The book two is more dedicated on education and health strategy. The book three is innovation and technology and applied informatics for nurses. And the book four is the digital world that support the people, the system, and the planet. So the books are out since April this year. So if you need or you would like, you could order the book in either digital or on paper. With this book, we cover a lot about the US and Canada, of course, because my co-authors are in the US, but co-editors, sorry. And but as I have since many years participating on international conference, a good network, I could have article coming from other country, like for example Sri Lanka. I will present it afterward, but also from Africa, where the situation of nurses are very difficult and not compared to what we have in Europe or in the US. And we have articles from Taiwan, Korea, China, and of course many of the European country. So it's not only US centric books, but also not embracing the whole world, but trying to get different view about how the situation is and how we could help or um, help in the nursing informatics in the different group. We had an excellent article from Sri Lanka. So Professor Marazinge, who will give a talk later, and Mrs. Madhuwanti present a paper about health equity and equal access to better care globally. So that's the content of the article in the book four, and that was because I had the chance to attend a conference in Sri Lanka a few years ago, which was the APAMI conference, and I made contact, and it was for me easier to get the good persons to propose an article in this kind of book. And for me, it's quite important to have as many as possible different articles. So in this health equity, the different level are taking into account and presented. So ask Professor Maranzinge to give you the article or to find it in the book. It's quite interesting piece of work that was done here. In the other books, and yeah, I took some of the elements that could be interesting For example, Gillian Strudwick and Sana Raya High and Nick Hardiker put an article about opportunity and challenges for digital health, and they were um, taking into account and pushing the aspect of policies, regulation at a local and international aspect using standard. And this around the world, and you know it since a long time, we try to have a standardized information about nursing, and the way they are coming and going, uh, uh, having the possibility to share the data and to use the data from other groups. And they were pushing the aspect of ethics, which is important for the population, and protection of the individual privacy. This is an article that is very well written and important to look at. In also to have to increase the collaboration. What is interesting is to look about how we could use simulation in nursing to teach the nurses or to make continue education. And there is two articles about simulation based. I took one of this element saying that the pandemic push the simulation and the interactive resource forward, and a lot was done uh, in this aspect, and I also put forward the drawing from Peggy White and Lynn Nagel from Canada, saying how standardized is important and how we could have the different level of standardization. So the power of computing will help the nurses. And what is also very common today is to speak about intelligence, artificial intelligence, which is not new, but which take the capacity of the system to deal with a high number of data called big data, and then to have an analysis that was not able to be done before, and in with the huge number of data that we should collect it. But the artificial intelligence, if it's well built and well done, will help a lot the nurses. And we had a meeting, Swiss Tanks meeting in Geneva, with a group of international people thinking about the nursing and the intelligence artificial. And you have the link of the article that was published in May 21 about this group having a meeting in Geneva about AI in nursing. So I would recommend to look at this article. It is open access on the web. And of course, as we were in the situation of the COVID, we accelerate the dependency of social media and health information. And that's one part which was very important during this time. And it will continue. That's why I'm virtual and not with you. It's a pity, but it is like this today. So the new role for nurses is to be an advocate in the nursing profession. The nurses should explain to the informatician or to the IT scientist how to work, how to continue. The nurses should be an implementer, a co-creator, and an analyst, and that's many different activity that should the nurses take for the future. Sorry. One of the problem we are facing is the drainage of the nursing profession. And the forecast of WHO is saying that 80 million health worker will be missing in the future into 2030, which is very important. And we need to take action to attract people in the care and in the nursing profession. So I think my 15 minutes are over, but I will rush to finish. And this is also an important aspect that we should take care and try to attract the people. How to attract and how to help the people in around the world is some of the mentoring. But up to now, the mentoring because it failed because of lack of organization. From my point of view, we should build a new model on mentoring, and the mentor should not work for free as it is up to now, but they must there must be a way to to take care of the time spent by the mentor for the others, and that perhaps will help to have more mentors and more nurses having the mentors or asking the mentors to help them. So we need support with from the university and the companies. And if you look at the Alliance for Nursing Informatics in the US, they have mentors since many years, but we need to be more globally and have mentors from all around the world. So perhaps we can do something in this regard with the EMEA and I, and we'll discuss it in our next assembly. It's also important to say that WHO have put a lot of learning program available on the web, which are very interesting, which are translated in many languages. And I encourage you to look at this piece of work and to take also example about the good quality of the learning tools they have built. So you have the link here if it's necessary. And I would like to share with you that Switzerland gained a voting initiative because you know Switzerland could the people in Switzerland could put initiatives saying you have to change the law about something and so on, and they have a new article called care, and this article give obligation to the country, the counties, to promote nursing as important element of healthcare. That means that they have to increase the number of possible education and university teaching nursing, and they must ensure that the care are sufficient, accessible for high quality. And this is important because it gives a new position for the nurse, and that's a very good initiative. We also, since many years, are working in workload classification called LEP. I just show you that we have more than 800 hospitals using the same classification, which is very good because if you compare the elements and compare the data, that helps for the improving the nursing and to go on. So just to finish, because I'm late, so I would like to invite you to attend the MedInfo conference next year, not far from you, but quite a jump. It's in Sydney, Australia. So thank you very much, and sorry for taking a few minutes more than I was allowed to.